Are you ready to be a master fantasy basketball drafter? Well, in this video, I'm going to break down a full mock draft to show you how to optimize your lineup. Hey everyone, my name is the talented Mr. Taco. I am from the Daily Sporting, and like I said earlier, today's video is going to be covering a full mock draft for you guys. The main reason why I do these mock drafts is try to give you guys some perspective on what you guys should be could be looking at possibly in your drafts, where you might want to start gathering players. This is a category-based draft, so it's going to give me a chance to really talk about strategically what you're going to be looking at when you're trying to build your team and how you want to build your team, because depending on who you get early will really depend on how you draft later on, and that'll really influence and shape how you build your team. So I think that's something that we really have to look at. Depending on who we get early, really dictates who we may take late. And I think that's what makes fantasy basketball so unique in comparison to football. And it's definitely more in line with baseball, although with baseball it's a different dynamic because you have a pitcher and a hitter, so there's two sets of players that you have to navigate, and each has five, whereas in basketball, for categories drafts, it's 9 categories that you go based off of, and the 9 categories that you go based off of are field goal, free throw, points, 3 points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, and turnovers. Now, how this usually works is the winner of the most categories out of the 9 wins the week and moves on. Now, depending on how the scoring goes, some leagues score it where each win that you get counts for you. So if you beat someone in all 9 categories, you go 9-0. But if you beat someone in 5 categories and they beat you in 4 categories, you won the week, right? Because you won more categories, you won 5 instead of 4. But in reality, it was only a 1-game difference between you guys. So standing wise, it'll show a 1-game difference. Whereas some other leagues, depending on how that breaks down, so I could beat you 5-4, but that would show up as 1 win. So scoring for basketball is very different, because there's also points-based systems. But today we're going to be covering categories-based leagues. We're going to be covering these 9 categories. And basically it's going to be standard win, 5 out of 4 to get the W, or greater. And the reason why I bring that up is because I think that has a lot to do with the strategy you should be implementing it as you draft your team. Just because there are 9 categories there doesn't mean you have to play for every all of the 9 categories. I think that things really depend on what you get early, how you want to really try to get players later on. And what I mean by that is this: let's just say you get a big man early, and then you want to take some guards later on, and then you're reaching for another big man, and next thing you know, you're not really great in assists, you're not really great at rebounds, you don't have the most points guys because a couple of the guys you got early did assists and rebounds, and you're kind of middle of the pack, and you can't make the playoffs because you have some good guys that sound great in real life, but when you put them on a fantasy basketball team, their stats, they may complement each other, but you don't have enough to complement those complements in order to get enough points to win. Like I said, you got to win 5 out of 4 categories each week. And that's why I like to take a targeted approach. I usually like, if I can, to get big men early. Why do I get big men early? Well, I'm looking for a certain type of big man. And with the 6th pick, I have a pick of those kind of big men. I like big men that could rebound. I like big men that could get block shots. I like big men that can get some assists, but also score points. I like big men that have good free goal and free throw. You can't always get all of that if they don't really do that many assists. I can live with it. The next one would be if they don't do many threes. I can live with it, but when you lose those extra categories, they start losing draft value, and you'll be able to snag them later. So the main things that I'm looking at when I'm looking at big men like centers and power forwards is I want guys with a high field goal, a high free throw, low turnovers, good rebounds, and good blocks. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3 categories for the percentages and the low turnovers. Okay. Blocks is 4, rebounds is 5, and then if he gives you good points, that's 6, and then if he gives you good steals and points and 3 points, that's 7 and 8 with whatever assists you have left over. I think those guys are, almost invaluable. The next players that you would see after that, I mean, LeBron James would normally, I would say, be a guy here that you would look at because unlike being a center, he can play and get all of those positions, all those categories. But you'll be able to find a couple of guys later on that'll be able to do it, but not quite to the magnitude of LeBron. And these guys who play center early, like Karl Anthony Towns and Jokic, you can't get that kind of production later on from a center. So you could take a guy like Damian Lillard, who in real life I would say is probably better than both Karl Anthony Towns and Jokic. But in fantasy basketball, because of how weak the depth you have at the big man position with good percentages, because there's a lot of big men that don't have good free throw. That starts getting harder and harder to find, and then you'll start finding more warts where it's just like, well, this big man doesn't get enough minutes, so he really doesn't get points. So then he becomes more of like, and then that means his field goal won't have as much impact. So then he just becomes more of a Reeves guy and blocks guy. So that's why drafting a guy like, to me, Jokic this early just sets the table for you, and he just shows the value of a player like him at the top of the draft and really gives you an open array of ways that you can go for scoring it, because like I said, just off of what he offers you, he's giving you pretty much every single category that you get available, and he plays the center and he plays the power forward. So Jokic, to me, I definitely have him probably definitely in the top 5, and he's definitely someone that when you're building a team, it's just a fantastic player to go with, especially in a categories based draft. So with now me having Jokic on the team, so that means I have power forward, I have center. I'll probably slide him to center here. So this way I don't get pigeoned into having to take centers that I don't like. At this point in the draft, I have good field goal, I have good free throw, I have points, I have rebounds, I have assists. He's gonna get me some blocks, some steals, and he's not a killer on turnovers. At this point in the draft, I think with what happened with Russell Westbrook being traded to Washington, it definitely just gives me a good outlook for him, just because he's going to get so much volume now. With that being said, Ben Simmons has a lot of upside over there in Philadelphia, and he's going to be the primary ball handler. Let's see here, notes, games, news, nothing. Okay, here we go. 2019 stats. So he averaged 16 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, 57% from the field, 3 turnovers, but no 3-pointers made. So he's not really much of a shooter. He doesn't get many blocks. But let's take a look at Russell. Russell had 27 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists. He had lower field goal percentage, more 3 points made, a little more turnovers though. Let me just see one thing. He had 16 points per game, 7 assists, or basically 8 and 8. Yeah, I mean, he just scores so many points, and now with him being back on the ball, I see his assists going back up. His turnovers may be high, but I think that in this situation, Brody's being a little bit undervalued with the trade. He's going to get significant volume, and having a guy like Beal on the side definitely gives him an opportunity to get those assists up. And I think with having Joker and Westbrook, I have great assists. I have great versatility as far as I have guys that can both score, and I have guys that get rebounds and assists. So it's a nice upgrade there. I can pretty much go anywhere I want at this point in the draft. So let's see what we do. Damn. There's a lot of centers here. Vujicic, let's see. Scored a team high 22 points, 15 rebounds. Wow. Jeez. Top 8 center. He gets, wow. Vujicic, man, he gets you automatic double-double while shooting 48% from the field and getting you 1.6 threes and getting 1.4 turnovers. Oh, man. That to me is pretty attractive. Let's just see here. I know Rudy is really good too. 17, 2 blocks. Wow, 3 straight double-double. Well, that's 3 months ago. Excuse me. Um, I don't think his points upside is as good as Vujicic. Vujicic gets 19. It was 3 months ago what he scored, but he hits the 3 unlike Gobert, which gives me a good upside with him. And his blocks though are significantly less than Gobert on this team. Blocks would be something that I would probably need. Siakam gives me great upside, but look at that. 45%, 2 threes made, low turnovers, good points, good rebounds, doesn't kill me in assists. He plays forward. Does he also play center? He plays center. I think I'm going to go with Siakam because I feel like Siakam is a player that he's just really good, and they use him as one of the primary players there. He could shoot it, he could rebound, he has good percentages like we saw there. Definitely someone with good upside. I pretty much have a lot of opportunity here. I like the way they use Mitch, but the thing about with the way they use Mitch for the Knicks, and I'm watching this the night after the Knicks game. They debuted versus the Pistons, and the coach started Nerds Noel. He said the job is open for a guy like Mitch, but it just feels like it's going to be more of a timeshare where we could be looking at a 50-50 split between these two guys, or even if it's like where Mitch is getting like maybe 26, 27. I don't see Mitch going really past 30 minutes. One, because of the way he always gets himself into foul trouble, but two, just because of the opportunity that they're going to give to Noel. So I'm just not sold on Mitch, especially going this high. I think that, let's take a look here. Middleton offers, I think, pretty great upside. He does a lot of things with some good percentages, low turnovers, good rebounds, good points. He plays the forward, so you can play him small forward, power forward. Let you move up one of the centers. Let's see here. Oh, man, but the allure and the steals of Chris Paul right here are just too much of a pass up, especially with all the guys that we have that could already pass. And you figure Westbrook and Paul would be probably two of the best assist guys in the league. Paul does get some solid rebounds, and I'll be able to draft some rebounders later on to balance out the squad. He adds to the team that could shoot threes. Everyone on this team right now can shoot threes and get decent points. I think this is going to be a crazy team where maybe and I'm not the best in steals and blocks, where I'm competitive, but not the best. And my turnovers might be a little bit high in comparison, but I should be able to dominate in a draft like this, especially when it was just too much for Chris Paul to be sitting there with this team, because I can play him at util, I can play him at guard. I always have one at point guard. Just means that later on I'm not going to be looking for anyone that's really playing point guard only. I need someone that gives me a little bit position flexibility. So like Kemba Walker, someone that I would not look at just from the way that he's set up. Clint Capella, 100% ready to go. Capella averaged 17th. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many people there in Indiana that it's hard for me to, project who's going to be the best over there. He's a solid center. Definitely a solid center. Hassan Whiteside, Lonzo Ball. I think this is where it gets an interesting spot. Oh wow. Oh my God, you can't tell me that they have John Paul. Oh my God. John Wall is an interesting play right here. I think John Wall looked pretty good in his debut, and I think if he's healthy, he could definitely outplay all these guys. John Wall was a pretty solid player when he's around, but the problem is, can he stay healthy? Forwards, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is pretty nice, and he gets some good steals. Balance out where we're weak. Hayward should be getting an opportunity. 17, 4 assists. Yeah, he should see an uptick in points, rebounds, and assists. I mean, with the money they just gave Gordon Hayward, that's interesting. Because Valanciunas, he's a center. He's from Memphis, but how much is he really going to have the ball? And how much is he lineup dependent? TJ Warren balled out. He was doing. This is yesterday. Oh no! See, yeah, I can't go with you here. Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown definitely started to come into his own, and with no Gordon Hayward, he does set himself up to have more of a role. Incredibly consistent. 26 points, 8 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals, 2 turnovers. All right. I think in this case it's really between Gordon Hayward and Jaylen Brown. Both give me shooting guard and small forward, so it's the two positions that I really don't have. I think this is really a tough toss-up. It's one guy that's been, good but dealt with some injuries, and another guy who's starting to come into his own and is an ascending player. Gordon Hayward does have a good opportunity here, but I think I trust what they've built in Boston, so I'm going to go with Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown has a decent upside here. I like the way he plays his game. Julius Randle just went off the board. I think that's the first Nick. Now, I like Brandon Clark. Becomes a 3-point shooter, 8 of 11, 24. This is one of the reasons why I didn't like Valanciunas, is because I do think Brandon Clark offers a lot of upside, and Jaren Jackson offers a lot of upside. See, yeah. So, I mean, like, the question is here what to do. Like, Laurie offers, like, Thomas Bryant. Man, I think Thomas Bryant offers so much upside. I love Thomas Bryant as a player. I had him on my team last year. He offers so much versatility. I think John Wall here is a crazy play. I think Clark offers great upside. He plays small forward, power forward. I think there's some guys here that I do like as we get later on that give me flexibility. I do have some centers. I have good free throws that could play center. I probably need more rebounds, though. The way this team is set up, I do probably need more rebounds. What does Clark average? Clark averages 5.9 rebounds. So Clark looks so appealing, but I just don't know if he's a fit. Laurie, no news. 15 points, 6 rebounds. How do you only shoot 42%, Laurie? What the hell, man? That's kind of bad. I'm not liking that, Laurie. And I should pick 73. John Wall. 100%. I just can't pass on this. I think that I didn't really like anyone that's there. Laurie just scares me. Thomas Bryant. Damn it, they really took him on me, huh? Yeah, I didn't want to take another point guard. I just said what I said, but I think John Wall's upside there is crazy. Now, Here's the thing. I'm going to have good assists. My rebounds are done, though. Now, I don't know if I should double that. Now, Buddy Hield only. Oh, so what's your numbers look like, Aaron Gordon? Hamstring, 14, 7, 43%. What? How are you shooting so bad, bro? Traded, rewarded 2 years extension. Oh, 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 yes. Oh, this is an easy one. Oh, this is an easy one. I can just see him sliding into this position. Nice and lovely. Oh, my God. Al Horford. I mean, he's interesting to me, but I just don't know. And the thing about Steven Adams, not only is going to be the center, he offers you great percentages. He'll get rebounds. He'll get blocks. He's just like perfect for me. Like, oh, I like it. This guy Grams, his role is going to be completely changed with Lonzo there now. So he's going to be more of a complimentary player. So I don't know how much I trust that. Kobe White came on towards the end of the season, but his field goal percentage is just too low, and he doesn't do enough other stuff. It'll be interesting to see if the coach utilizes him in a way to more exploit those talents, but I just don't know. Same thing with Oladipo. His field goal percentage is really down for me. Dino. I mean, there's so many players there with the Hawks. I don't know how that all works out. Mikal Bridges shot lights out, but it was. I'd like Mikal Bridges though. He just does everything. And the thing about it is, you figure with that lineup, he'll get rebounds, he'll get assists, he'll get blocks, he'll get steals, he'll give me everything that I'm kind of missing as far as those intangibles. Plus, he can shoot the three, which pretty much every single person on this team can do, other than Adams. So I'm a 3-point conscious team. He's really not going to be a turnover guy for me. And he gets me some rebounds to add in there with some steals and blocks. Some things that I'm kind of weak at without hurting me anywhere else, and still giving me threes and low turnovers. So I just think that Mikal Bridges is the way to go for me at this point in the draft. James Wiseman went off the board. Now it's interesting. There's a bunch of guys here that we had just seen that I kind of went over and past. Bogdan. See, this guy's here too. So like with Bogdan and Dino, it's like who's gonna get what? How's that gonna work out? Shooter, the backup point guard. I just don't need that. Jeremy Grant said that he's promised a increased offensive role, but I just don't know how much I'm gonna trust it and what you're really gonna do. To me, you just didn't look that impressive. And you're not someone that I really want to reach for. So this becomes interesting. So I essentially have three guys that can play center. What other centers are available? Derek Favors. Best 102. Yeah, late round pick, obviously, but not something that I'm reaching for. I would like to nab Noel maybe with the next pick. Give me another big. So if that's the case, then I'd want to take another guy that can complement the core. Let's see, Victor. I think Oladipo offers the best upside chance, and his position is shooting guard, small forward, which I only have one guy that plays and two guys that play shooting guard, small forward. So he enters into a three-man lineup. He plays utility as a normal slot, but if any of those guys are off, he can slide into one or two spots, or a worst case scenario, a forward slot. I definitely probably need to get someone else that plays there. I only have two guys that play power forward as well. So I think that Oladipo, just based on his position, Evan Fournier, let's see, 18, 2, 3. We need to pay them more. Career high points, 46%. Wow, he hits 2 threes, but he doesn't really get you that many assists or rebounds or steals. Whereas I think that when Oladipo's going right, he should really be dynamic in that area. It'd be nice to get RJ Barrett, but I just don't see it. Kevin Porter Jr., Tyrese Halliburton, yeah. So I think here it's just the upside is too good, and you have to nab someone like Victor Oladipo. Boom. Yeah, it was a tough pick because of the way his injury. Wow, Nerds well went off the board already. Sheesh. Oh man. Let's take a look here. I definitely didn't expect this. Bogan, that he expects to play. Average career highs. Expects similar from the small forward. He averaged 20 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 45%, hit 3 threes. He plays small forward, power forward, which kind of covers me in 2 spots. Gives me more flexibility to run Depot at shooting guard in case I need it or get one of these other guys. I just Bogdan offer sheet, but ultimately just let him walk. Chris Dunn, Dino Gallinari, the team starting shooting guard. I mean, his numbers were great, and they just signed him to a decent deal. And he's supposed to be the starting shooting guard. But I mean, alongside Trey, I don't know how that works. But like, let's just see here. 2.7, 15, 3, 3, 2.7, and 24, 2, 3. Damn. Alright, I guess we'll just go with Bogan and just kind of hope that plays out. Nice. I like how they move that over. Just slides him over into the forward spot. Now we're here. I mean, Evan Fournier was the guy that I was looking at earlier. Came in close contact. Just no all around. I don't like what he fits. Don't like his fit. Otter Porter Jr. It's a hard decision. Yeah, I don't really like what I saw. I don't know how that role works, especially since they drafted someone that plays a similar position. RJ Barrett is here. I think he offers decent upside. I might be able to get him in. Will I get him in 15 picks? Maybe. I'm going to go with Evan Fournier because I like that he plays shooting guard, small forward, and he puts up good numbers from what I saw. RJ Barrett would be someone that I would love to fall. Oh, there he goes. Boom. All right. Now, this is interesting. PJ Washington, interesting numbers to me. Forward. PJ Washington is interesting. Malik Beasley, he just got paid. So it'll be interesting to see. He averaged 20 points, 5 rebounds, 1.9 assists as one of the main options alongside these guys. I think he's someone that is going to be a sneaky play to get. Obi Toppin, man. If I can get him in 9 picks, right? This guy gives me point guard, shooting guard. I don't want Ingles because I already have Bogan, so I don't want 2 guys from that setup. PJ, we just don't know because now we also have whatchamacallit over there. He shot 18% from the field, but rebounded nicely. You don't get enough threes for me really to want him, and you don't play center, so no, I can't go with that. I think the upside that we get with Beasley, him playing shooting guard and point guard, gives me my 4th point guard, gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys that play shooting guard. So I'm pretty much covered in the backcourt. I need another big man, and that big man I think is pretty easy to see who it's going to be. We're going to be Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin. Drafting Obi Toppin. Let's see where they rank us, but I really like this team. Now for a real draft. Best ball leagues. I think I definitely might take a look into the best ball league that they offer, and I'll do a live one for you guys. B plus, not bad, not bad at all, considering that I think that Westbrook is going to do a lot better than what they're projecting at. I think that Oladipo, they had sliding, but he could be definitely someone that's interesting. Also, John Wall. They had John Wall super low. I don't know why. Because if John Wall is healthy, you're looking at 20 points and maybe like 9 assists. Between Westbrook, Wall, and Paul, I'm going to be one of the top assist guys. Rebound wise, I think I'm going to be solid, but I'm not going to be really that great. Points wise, I'm going to be really good. Free throw wise, I'm going to be really good. Steals wise, I should be really solid between Westbrook, Paul, add Bridges in there, a Wall, Depot. I think Siakam. I think that's going to be a solid lineup. Turnovers, I might be a little bit high. I might be middle of the pack. But I definitely think if we look at this team, field goal percentage, I don't think should be a problem for it. So that's 1. Free throw shouldn't be a problem for it. So that's 2. 3 points, I should be one of the best 3-point shooting teams in this league. So that's 3 points. I think when you look at it, you have Russell, Jalen, Chris, Jokic, Siakam. That's 5 20-point scorers, plus John Wall. That's 6. Evan Turner hit 18 last year, so that's like 7 guys that are big scorers. Malik Beasley's 8. Victor Oladipo is possibly 9, and Obi Toppin 10. So points definitely is going to be up there. Rebounds are going to be a little depressed. Steals, that's definitely one that I expect. Assists. Not assists. Rebounds. So we have rebounds. We have points. We have 3 points. We have free throw. We have field goal. That's 5. And then the rest is all tosses up. Assists, steals, blocks, turnovers. Those are kind of any given week kind of things where I'll be debating and fighting with guys. But field goal, free throw, points, 3 points, field goal, free throw, points, 3 points. And then the last one will be, between rebound and assists. I'm sorry, those are the 5 with assists. And then after that, rebounds will probably be one that, we'll be able to fight for. I may not be able to get that one every week, but then that's 3 weeks. We have the solid 5, and then everything else, assists, steals, I'm thinking that more than likely I'm going to get that most weeks. So that's either 6 or that's either 7. So realistic, when you build this team, it's a solid 5. There's a solid 5. Points, field goal, free throw, 3 points, and assists. That's your solid 5, and then everything else you have around it kind of any given week. That's when you really blow teams out. But when you're doing the categories-based draft, that's the way you want to approach it. You want to be looking to get your solid core categories that you want to go after. I wanted to go with the big man because it gave me the flexibility, and that's what it did. It allowed me to get guys that really complement Jokic style. Jokic fills all stat sheets, so I got somebody else that did the same. And then throughout the draft, we just took the value plays like Chris Paul and John Wall. Which really I just couldn't say no to, depending on who's there in different drafts. The rest of this team may look a lot different, but if John Wall is going that low in drafts, he's someone that I snatch up. I'm taking him. I think he has a huge rebound season, top 25 player. I can't see him falling that low. If he falls that low, I'll take the risk on his injury, just because that upside is great. I want to thank you guys for staying. If you watched the whole video, I definitely appreciate it. You should subscribe to our YouTube channel because we're going to make sure we give you more content like this consistently to keep you and get you ready for your, fantasy basketball seasons and to get you ready for your drafts. We're going to do continuous coverage all season long where I'm going to break down, what the players are doing and different strategies you can take, give you some waiver wire advice. So this is definitely stuff that we're going to be taking a look at and getting you ready for your league and get you winning your leagues and get you ready for that next step. So I appreciate everything. Check us out on Twitter at the Daily Sporting, Daily Sporting for you, and that's with the number 4. So it's Daily Sporting number 4U. And then we also are at Facebook at the Daily Sporting, Instagram same name, the Daily Sporting, and you're watching us here on YouTube. So definitely give us a subscribe here on YouTube as we gift you the most up-to-date information we can get you. I appreciate everyone for what you you've done, with all the support that you've shown so far, and the support that you continue to show. So again, I am the talented Mr. Taco. This is the Daily Sporting, and you guys have a wonderful evening, night, day, morning, whatever you guys got. But peace out.